Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to another episode of The View from the Afternoon, an iTunes charting podcast, don't you know?
I know.
Absolutely buzzing with that. Today I'm joined by my dear friend, Cameron Lewis. Choc, how you doing, man?
Doing good, homie. I'm doing good. It's lovely to see you again.
Yeah, man, it's great.
I mean, we've managed to link up quite a few times, haven't we?
I've probably seen you more than any other my friends, to be honest. In fact, to be honest, mate, I'm kind of sick of seeing you at this point.
Listen, mate, I can go.
That'd be great. Thanks everyone for tuning in. How's life, mate? You all good?
Yeah, you know, usual.
Yeah.
Just getting used to the new norm, essentially.
Aye.
What about yourself?
Yeah, not bad. It's weird. We're here today to talk about mental health, right? Which is wow, what a riot that's going to be. Fuck me.
The fun podcast.
But more so than ever, it's important, right?
100%.
And the reason it's us talking about it is because it's something I'm learning to get better at speaking about and stuff. And Choccy, you won't mind me saying, you have your own struggles and you're pretty good at talking about them. Yeah, you're on like expert mode.
Yeah, I've had those years of therapy to openly just be like, spotlight, please.
That's it, and you've helped me significantly. But this week is weird because this week I've had a good week.
You do have them sometimes.
I've had a good week, and I find myself worried when I have a good week.
Like something bad.
Because I'm like, right, some shit's around the corner, man. Do you know what I mean?
I fully get it. Like we've spoke about that before, where you'll say, "Oh, you know, something's going to happen." And I'll be like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Well, nothing bad's happened today, and I feel like something's going to happen." And I'll be like, "You know, just relax. Maybe you're just having a good day." But I fully understand when someone says something bad's going to happen. If I'm having a good day, I'm like, I can feel genuinely like
horrible, right?
It's like
it's horrible.
It's a weird like feeling just in the air, isn't there? It's like I can remember once, perfect day, everything's going fine. Do my food shop, Aldi for those who want to know.
Do I want to know?
Get all the way to the car. Can't find my keys. Keys are gone. So I'm like thinking, shit, did I just leave them in? So I go back in. Guy won't let me go back in. He's like, what do you want? And I was like, well, I've obviously just bought shopping. I've left my keys. He went, all right, let me go around the other end. I'm having a look.
Why would he not let you back in?
Because I think it looked a bit weird because I took my mask off.
Well, no, because you're not white.
Well, he was a man of colour as well.
Okay.
He was dual heritage, I do believe. So we, I try and go back in. Got no mask on, so he's like, can't let you in. And I said, sorry, I've literally just left my keys. And he was like, all right, lets me go around, put my mask like briefly on like that. Can't find it. And I'm thinking, if I put it in a food bag, looking in all my food bags and stuff like that, can't find it, really stressed out. I'm speaking to the guy on the till. He's like, I've not seen him, sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm getting really stressed, checking it everywhere. Spent about 20 minutes. And then I look up at the top of the car. I'd put them on top of my car, the roof, and I just felt like such a fucking idiot. My mood was instantly ruined. Went home, like, had a wank, went to sleep. That were it. I just...
Weird, isn't it, how, like, something that... Stuff that, like, before... I don't know what before what, but, like, there was a time before where, like, that would be funny.
Yeah.
But now, the mindset is, like, it just ruins your day.
Yeah, it completely...
And I don't know why.
It's like I said, it all goes with like how you are, like in general. Because that term is, if I say to you, how are you? You go, yeah, not bad. You still could be feeling absolutely fucking wank, like 99%.
Do you know, I'll be honest with you, mate. Anytime someone says to me, oh yeah, how am I? My answer is the same. Yeah, not bad. Yeah. Or just ticking along is usually what I say. Because then I'm not lying. Because I am still ticking along. But I'll never say like, I'm not. It's a very British thing, I think.
Yeah, it's almost like, oh, this weather, Oh,
yeah.
This weather. It's like, it's a very... If you go to any other fucking country in the world and you're trying to make a small talk, like I can remember being in a taxi once in Dubai. And like,
oh, flex alert. We got the flex alert.
Me, homie. Just trying to make small talk with the cab driver. Because
Don't speak English.
Well, no, he did. That was the thing. He spoke quite good English. And there was an awkward pause.
He spoke better English than you.
Doesn't take much, does it? I apologise for anyone who's ever watched. I can remember this.
Your mum doesn't count, brother.
Yeah, yours does.
Walked into that one.
Give her a call. But I can remember this cab driver. So there was an awkward pause, and I didn't know what to say. And And I just went to the typical British thing. I was like, lovely weather here compared to England. I was like, in England, it's always raining. And he was
it's
like,
raining right now, right behind you, bro.
That's it. But he was, he was just like, yeah. And I was like, shit. I was like, normally British,
fucked it.
You know, British people will be like, they'll do this weather. Oh, I had plans. You know, I tried to put my washing out. There's a conversation there. Well, this guy was just like, yeah. And I was like, great. Back to silence.
Perfect. Something that so obviously we want to talk about mental health, right? It's more prominent than ever in our society, and it's been more recognised by everyone. I've been on my own fucking journey with it during this lockdown, as you know very well. It's all in the Sam Pelly squad and shit, which is so nice to see. Like,
it's lovely.
People are so like open to like chatting in there, and opening up, and obviously that's great for anyone who doesn't know. I'm sure everyone watching this does, but that's our Facebook group that we have for the channel, and you see people opening up in there. But it's been quite a heavy week this week, and like, I'm not mentioning any names or anything because obviously that's not what we're here to do, but there's been some heavy shit in there this week.
There's you know, people have been struggling, like everyone's been struggling. I think even the people that wouldn't normally see, you know, not really stressing about too much. Even everyone at the moment seems in like a unified, having a shit time.
And that's kind of why I wanted to do this, because let's unify. Let's talk about our own experiences with that. Because you know what, I'm not going to post it in the fucking group because I'm not ballsy enough to do that, right? But
and I'm not going to call my therapist anymore because she's sick of me. Like speaking on that, I got a call like fucking three weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was my therapist that I have. She calls. She's making some small talk, asking me the questions. How you dealing during, you know, all the craziness in the world, making that. And then she's like, "Well, I've got some news for you." And I'm thinking, right. And she's like, "You're on the list, like right at the top of the list to do this therapy called CPT, or CBT. I can't remember which way.
I think it's CBT.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic, man. But
cognitive behavioural
therapy. Someone will correct me.
So you're not only depressed, you're fucking dyslexic as well.
And dumb. You know,
dumb,
really stupid or dyslexic. But you know, she buzzed me up because I tried it, and originally I'd backed out of it because I was like, the person I was doing it with was like, there was no good communication.
Yeah.
Like, she was saying,
click with that
I was listening, right? I was saying back, and she'd be like, you know, try this, get out of bed every day at 7. I was like, have you met me?
Listen, bitch, I ain't asleep by 7.
I said, listen here, cunt.
God, do you know what, man? My hair's so long, and this is for the people watching on the video, I guess, not so much people listening. But I've just dyed. Mary's just dyed it for me, so that's why it's got bits of blue in there. It is so fucking long,
mate. The reason I've got this hat on, and I've just decided not to take it off, is just before coming here, I originally said to Hannah, I said, well, when you finish getting your tattoo,
shave my head, shave my
hair. And she obviously came in at like 20 past 3, and she went, the bag's not packed, I need to get washing in. And I was like, well, I've got no time to get my hair done. I need to make sure I can get the train on time. I was like, it's already stressing me out from fuck all. So I just went, right, hat's going on. Then didn't think about the big old headphones because I've put this. Well,
this is the first time we've used the headphones because each podcast episode, you guys know I'm learning, and I've fucked something up every time.
L plate.
And the thing that I've got the big L plate on the front, baby on board, and that, like, be nice to me and shit. Something that we need to do is use the headphones, because then we can monitor our own levels, and then if you accidentally move away from the mic or something, or if I do, then you can tell and you can move forward and correct it in real time instead of me having to correct it in post. We've got very distracted there, and I'm going to carry on the distraction. I noticed your hat that you're wearing is Gore-Tex.
Yeah, and Stussy.
Did you hear about the founder of Gore-Tex who died in the week?
No fucking way, really?
Yeah, I forget his name. I think it was Bob
Builder.
Bob something. I don't want to get it wrong, so I know it's Bob. But yeah, I wore my Gore-Tex hat in the week to kind of as a salute. Yeah, and also we lost Huff.
Really?
What was his name? Keith Huffnagel?
Keith. I don't remember his last name. Is that Huff?
Something Huff. But yeah, we've lost some titans of the industry this week.
So we'll pull one out later for you, out window.
And we lost them to what I assume is some other cause other than mental health. So let's get this back.
Let's get back on track, because that's
so your therapist,
called you know, gave me some good news. Oh, you're on the top of the list to try this therapy again. Because I'd constantly for the last couple of months been like, look, I want to try it again. I've tried a lot of fucking therapy. I want to try this again. So she butters me up with that.
Yeah.
And then she said, but then I've also got some bad news.
Right.
I'm leaving on maternity leave. And I go, right. This is my 23rd therapist I've had.
Is it actually?
23rd.
23. Jesus
I've been going to therapy since...
That's like one for every year of your life, dude.
Yeah, pretty much. But I've had since I've been going to therapy since I was 13 to a place called CAMS, which is under 18s.
Yeah.
And I was like in and out with different people. Like you build up a bond.
Really?
Yeah. You build up a bond with all these people. You have a good time. You have a good connection. You feel like you're getting somewhere, and then they go, "I'm moving. You know, I'm at different work. I'm at a different thing now." And
That's
you just
it, innit, man? It's a job for them.
Well, part of my thing for me is like I'm fed up of repeating it. So like, you know,
because you got to start from scratch. I imagine with every person, they've got to learn you and how you tick.
Yeah, and the person I just finished with this woman, lovely woman called Leon, who's just left for maternity leave. We did it all again, all the last stuff I'd learned and discussed about, built it all up, started opening up, and then all of a sudden, you know, she says that, and it was just an instant, oh, I've got to do this all over again with someone new who potentially might be really bad at communicating with me, just like not get it. I might not like them. You know, there's different factors to involve. And I said, and even then, if something goes wrong with that person, it's a completely new person, and you're just stuck in this loop.
Rinse and repeat,
of trying to... If you really want to progress in life with it, you've got to talk, you've got to open up, you've got to be ready just to get to the nitty-gritty, because a lot of people think they're quite happy and open to discuss what goes on in their head. The problem is, you know, when you really get down to it, a lot of people aren't. There's a lot of people that will say, yeah, well, this happened to me in the past, but they don't talk about it. They'll mention it, but they don't want to open that door up, because once you open it up and people dive in, it's like a whole Pandora's box. And it's like, so I got that news, and then she said the group therapy that I was going to take part in is currently cancelled. When it does start again, it'll be over Zoom. And I was like, well, you know, that's not going to motivate me.
You don't have a computer good enough to use fucking Zoom, Chuck.
Listen, man, enough people here who will be listening in or watching will know that I was in 99% of those live streams, and
but you can't set a fake background because your CPU isn't.
Listen, it's a stolen laptop from uni.
Of course it is.
That I've never given back, and like, you know, Chef Cole, get at me. I'll give it you back when you want it, but yeah, I've still got it. You never asked for it. It's one of those things where I was just like, I'm not going to do the fucking Zoom group therapy, and also I'd have to wait because they have to do it in chunks. Because it's like, oh,
what a watered down human experience that shit is, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate that they might have to do it in that, but what a subpar experience.
I have nothing
because you're not getting out of your zone. You sat on your same sofa that you sat on. Not you necessarily, but just in general, you're going to be sat on that same sofa all day. And you want to, I imagine when you go to therapy, because I haven't been fucking strong enough to even look at doing that. I'm sorry to admit, but that's true. But I imagine when you go, part of getting in the mindset to have the conversation is being in a different environment and being in that environment, right?
Yeah, it's if you can motivate yourself to go, if you can motivate yourself to actually get up, get out your house, travel any way to that spot that you're going to have that therapy, you already have a tiny bit of hope. Even if you don't feel it, your body does, because it's got you out. A lot of, like, one of the worst things a lot of people will have, that if you don't have that drive, you're just going to slump and stay in. Like, it's very easy. I can remember growing up, all that therapy and stuff, there was days where I was just like, I'm not getting out of bed. I'm not going out the door. I can't even go downstairs without feeling like I'm going to burst into tears. And it's lovely to know that if you can get out and you keep doing it and you can keep making those appointments and keep going at it, you slowly build at least a bit of motivation. And that's the only reason I've not completely dropped therapy, because like I said, when you've had so many fucking therapists like have to leave because, you know, not a lot of them weren't personal, a lot of them were just because, you know,
because they've got their life to get on with it.
Or not only that, it's like their job role has changed, or they've been assigned to a different place. Like, oh, sorry, we're actually in Rotherham instead of Sheffield now, or I'm being moved to Derby. It's one of those things where you can't hold resentment, and I did for when I was younger, especially. You know, the first like 3, I would just like, why? You get like a connect, like I said, you have that.
Of course you do. It's going to be one of the
that connection
connections you make.
Where you feel like, it's like you feel like you've been abandoned. Like, look, I'm opening to you, and then you just fuck off. And when you get older, you mature a bit and realise that's not it. Life has to be like that sometimes. Everyone has to have work and stuff like that. But yeah, it is really fucking hard. So props to anyone who also can just get out of bed. And also if something's happened like what's just happened to me, where my therapist said, look, I'm sorry, I'm going on maternity leave, so you're going to have someone else. The fact that I can still actively contact and be like, send me the next person, we'll organise some sessions.
I guess you could just kind of give up, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It's probably very easy to do. Yeah,
I had a year of fully giving up, like to the point where, it's depressing to see where, I mean, when you first reached out and you were like, this is where I feel.
What, this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk all about that, actually.
It's incredibly hard to hear, because when you like care for someone, especially like a best mate, family member and stuff, and to see him in a state of absolute despair, it's so hard, because you can't just grab him out of it. You try everything, but I could literally turn around and say, here's £1 million, I've booked holidays, work's gonna let you fucking take the whole year off, blah blah blah, and it still won't make a change to you, because it's something that
I'm realizing that, like, and I don't like saying this because it can sometimes come across as arrogant, because I don't have £1 million and I don't have unlimited holiday.
The dream, though.
But what I do have is so much of what I coveted even 3-4 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought that if I could have like a penthouse flat with an incredible view, which is what I've always wanted, man.
In the afternoon.
View in the afternoon. Then I'd be happy. I thought if I had enough money to not live paycheck to paycheck, which finally I do, that perfect. I've achieved what I want, and I have achieved what I want, but I feel lower than I've ever felt in my entire fucking life, man.
And
I felt better when I was living at my mum's in a fucking bunk bed. I'm very proud of this place. I love it to bits.
But it also comes with stress as well.
So yeah, it's mad. I was definitely happier in many ways in my head when I was at my mum's on a bunk bed.
Yeah.
Not with my mum. She had her own bed.
Well,
a double. Sleeps one now.
I was saying, maybe this is the podcast you tell the truth, Rob. Maybe this is why. Yes.
Not this time.
My name is Rob Kellis, and I did sleep with my mum till I was 18. Moving on.
The first time, I think my mental health hasn't been good for probably about 4 years.
Yeah.
But what I've had, and I'm very grateful to have it, is constant distraction.
Yeah.
Because I live a very fortunate life in many ways.
You live a point A to B. It's constantly A to B, A to B. You come up with something, you do it. You come up with something, you do it.
Yep. This weekend I'm at this festival. Oh, I'm gutted I'm not at that festival anymore and it's finished. Good news. Next week I'm at another. Then I'm at a gig. Then I'm off to America. Like, I'm very fortunate to have that life normally. And it's not like these are fucking exclusive things.
Yeah,
anyone can do it.
Exactly.
It's just we do it. And that's kind of something that's kind of kept me distracted. I remember when I lost my dad.
Yeah.
And I was obviously gutted. I mean, gutted isn't even the word to use.
Oh, shit.
I'm gutted I was gutted I didn't get this fucking Supreme drop.
Just lost $5 on bet. Fuck, I'm gutted. Dad's dead. Yeah, I'm equally as gutted. So imagine the world.
My dad was ill as fuck, and I just come out of what was my longest relationship ever. And me and Danny had this time that we call the Great Depression, right?
All right, America.
Which is, it's like a bit, it's a bit of one of them. But what it was me 9 nights on a row just getting fucked out of my mind. And Danny was the guy who was there with me. He wasn't depressed. He wasn't miserable about anything in particular, from what I'm aware of. But he was the guy that I was relying on. Yeah. And he was with me throughout. So we just got fucking leathered 9 nights in a row. We went to Amsterdam, which is where the famous Amsterdam vlog is from, the first ever one. And then after that, I guess I kind of told myself in my head, right, everything's fine now because you've got it all out of your system. And then it was like just constant growth and momentum from there. So I've just kind of I've certainly had days where nothing's going on, but I've just been busy for like 3-4 years. Well, and it's only now that I've not been busy.
Yeah, because the world's changed in a way that... Think about this year. Think about everything we had planned for this year.
Yeah, it was going to be our biggest year ever.
Like, so much. It was at that point where, you know, I was reaching out to my ex-partner saying, look, I know I have childcare, but I'm going to need to know in advance, like months in advance, because I'm going to be gone for like a couple of weeks.
Because we're fucking rocking and rolling in 2020. Roll. So when all that shit got cancelled, and then we're trying to keep busy by doing the streams and joining the pub quizzes and shit. Well, that was great, but it just got me in this like fucking spell of like, right, I'm going to coast through the week. I'm going to get fucked up on Friday. I'm going to get fucked up on Saturday. I'm going to be hungover on Sunday. Thank God that's a day that like disappears. And then I'll coast through the rest of the week until the next Friday. And it was so fucking bad. And I remember I got in such a rut. I was so anxious and so like fucking bad all the time. And then I literally had like a breakdown, and it was on that day when I rang you, and I can't thank you enough for taking that call. And I know you wouldn't have it any other way, but there's not many people I can open up to like that. Like I've tried doing it subtly to other people, and no disrespect to anyone else. Everyone deals with shit in their own way, but you dealt with me then in the perfect way because you're coming from a mental health background, which none of us are, because we're all like fucking shells, and we all just lock ourselves in, and we're like, "Fuck you, you're a pussy."
Well, that was literally one of the when we all started hanging out. Well, when I say we all, when I started hanging out with all the boys and you, it was one of those things that I can remember. Like, if I said, boys, I'm feeling really shit. I'm feeling really fucking low and stuff. Everyone was like, "Oh, sorry to hear, man. I hope you're all right." But it was one of those where I was like, I guess we're not at a level of I can open up and we can have a full discussion. And then I can remember over the couple of months, you and Dan really kind of like, and this is not to like throw any of the other boys, because they have recently, I mean, we'll get into it a bit later on what transpired a couple of weeks ago. But like, you really did like just completely go like, listen, anything you need, anything you want, if you want to talk, if you don't want to talk, you want us to come over, you want to come over, you want a night out, you want to fucking be MIA for like a week, and
you want us to breach lockdown rules, we'll do that, no fucking problem.
Yep. That didn't happen though.
Of course it didn't. I'm just saying if you wanted us to, bro.
But what I'm trying to say is like it really did feel like there was a big old progress where then I felt so comfortable, because like I said, I already was comfortable enough to be like, hey, yo, I'm depressed and life's tits up for me, but I'm here to get drunk and get fucking party on. But it got to a point where it was so easy to just send a message and I could just put a massive paragraph saying, listen, I literally want to fucking kill myself. I literally want to fucking jump off a bridge. I've not got out of bed for 2 weeks. Sorry, I've not replied to any messages, but it's literally the end for me, I feel. And you two really reached out into a level where it did help pull me back, because it was like, well, I've obviously got... And it's one of those things that, not just quickly sidetrack, but it's one of those things that in that exact moment you feel like it's you against the world, no one else. And there's people that love you. You've got your mum, your sister, the boys. It's one of those things.
Yes, I know I don't have a dad. Rub it in.
Mate, I have a dad. He doesn't want anything to do with me, so that's double. That's double. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, we're in it together.
But it's one of those things where even if you go, oh, I've got these people, your brain instantly goes, it doesn't matter. You're alone.
There's one for like, excuse me, that for me it's like I can have everything.
Yeah.
But all it takes is one negative thing. Yeah. And it just brings me down. We can put out a video and it'll get like the best views out of the last 10. I can message the group chat and everyone will respond, which is something that's kind of rare at this point, but like, you can be like, oh, does anyone want to chill? And like, you get like 3 people that are like, yeah, cool, let's link up. I can have a great day at work. I can have some lovely food. I can win a bet.
Paddy power.
But then if one thing doesn't go right,
instantly gone.
Just everything else is cancelled out. Like, it doesn't matter about all the other good shit. And I just like come down to like this low, and I just find myself just on a night watching the fucking Simpsons on my own.
In the bath.
In the bath, yeah. I mean, you got to get the use out of it, right? I've got that fucking bath tray. I mean, as well use
you
it.
know, my bath's not getting any of that use. You've been in my bath.
Hannah uses it, mate.
Yeah, Hannah does, but she's tiny like me, big gut and shit.
You ain't getting in there.
Like, I like a. I know this is completely. We're getting distracted again, but what we're trying to say is, I like a bath that's really filled up, so I can just submerge.
I bet the bath's filled up with you in it, about 1 litre of water.
But Hannah always drains it before I get in, because she's like, you don't need that much water. You're just gonna overspill it. And I said, listen, bitch, cunt. Whore.
I said, bitch.
Fill me a bath.
Get downstairs and make me a sandwich.
Put that bath bomb in there. And then she comes and says, is that all right? I said, no, bitch, I want the red one. But
do it again.
But as you were saying, in the bath tray, Simpsons, and that's where you find yourself now, don't you?
And I just drink. Mate. I'm drinking now, and drinking is a staple of the channel, and I ain't going to fucking stop. But in God's honest truth, I've had alcohol every single day of the lockdown since March 24th.
Amen, brother. But I warned you about this, didn't I? I said, from my own personal experience, I went through, I know exactly when it was. It was from my second year to third year of uni. I had a shout out to two really good people that helped me get by in life, which were called George and Keith. I just split with my girlfriend of like fucking 6 years. You know, we have a fucking child together. I couldn't move back home because I'd originally already been kicked out for getting a girl pregnant. And I didn't know.
That's fucking obscene. Can we just say that is obscene? You got a girl pregnant, and the response to that is, you're on your own.
Well, the thing is, it was more of a, you know, you've met my mum. You know, my mum would never just be like, you're gone.
Yeah, your mum's sound as fuck.
It was kicked out of school, drugs.
Also, you're a bit of a prick as well.
Yeah, it was like one of the things, and a constant thing of me saying at the time, like,
I'm thinking if it was me and I was like, Mum, Dad, guess what?
I got
my
a
girlfriend's pregnant. But if you were being a proper Bart Simpson, then do you know what? I stand with your parents.
Yeah, it was like things me saying to my mum, like, it's all right, I'll just go to my dad. My dad don't fucking want me anyway. You know what I mean? I told my dad while he had cancer, yo, I'm going to be your dad. And he said, you're no son of mine, and told me to fuck off. And that's one of the last conversations I had with my dad.
Do you know what the fucking best thing about that is?
Like, look at me now, Dad.
You are such a good dad to your daughter. Like 10 times the fucking dad that it sounds like your dad's ever been to you.
Yeah, my dad only saw me because my mum literally made him.
That's fucking mental. And he's saying to you, you're no son of mine. And you're like a fucking ideal dad, and you treat your daughter the way like anyone should treat their daughter.
It's one of those things where I find it funny because he hates his dad. So my granddad on my dad's side is a big jet black, cold, fucking cool as fuck Rasta.
Right? Really?
Yeah, the dreads.
Jamaican?
Yeah, you know,
Sick.
top guy.
Yeah.
But I always looked up to him because he was cool as fuck. And, you know, he bought me some fucking bongos and shit on my, like, 10th birthday.
Some bongos?
Yeah, he took me to see Damien Marley, Junior Gong.
Yeah. We mash up the best.
Yeah, you know, he did like bits and pieces.
Not racist, by the way. It's appreciation.
He did some, you know, little things, but he was always a bit, you know, a mystery. Like, I didn't really know much about him, and my dad refused to talk about him. He said, "Don't ever ask me about your granddad." He said, "I hate him. I don't ever want to talk to you about him." He said, "I'll tell you when you're older." So time goes on, and the last time I see him was when I was 15, 14. And I'm in Pizza Hut for the day after my birthday.
Hell yeah.
Me and my mum.
Post-birthday celebration.
He's in there with my great uncle that I didn't even fucking know.
Just randomly in there?
Yeah, in Sheffield, because he lives in...
Oh, I thought he lived in fucking Jamaica.
No, he was back and forth. He got kicked out of Jamaica for a while, and I'll get into that.
What?
But
maybe that's a conversation more for the Choccy backstory episode, which I'm sure many people
we'll get into that. But what I'm trying to say is, like, my dad hated him. I saw him this one time, the last time I saw him when I was like 13, 14, 15, some shit like that. And my mum was like, oh, you know, it was Cam's birthday. And he goes, oh, oh, I haven't got anything to give him right now. And my mum was expecting him maybe just to play, I'll send a card or something. But then he takes this like Jamaican sweatband off and he gives it me. And he's like, there's a present inside. He said, open it when you get home. And obviously I'm a kid, so I'm not going to fucking open it when I get home. And let's just say, for the record, I'd already been taking drugs and stuff. And I undid the thing in the card, expecting maybe a little chain, some bullshit. I didn't. It's just
Snoop Lion CD,
just a bag of coke in there. And my mum's next to me in the car. She says, "What's that?" And she literally stops.
It's a headband. It's an Adidas headband, Mum.
My mum like literally reaches out to my dad and just like, what the fuck does he think he's playing at? Da-da-da. My dad just said, yeah, well, I told you I don't want to know what to do with him and stuff. And I kind of gathered it, like, right, so you hate your dad, and like, I don't hate my granddad, but it's like, I get it why you do.
Yeah.
But then my dad did nothing as a dad to really make me love him. Like, I looked up to him. I idolized that man. You know, he was successful.
Well, yeah, he sounds like on paper, he sounds like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, man. Like, put it this way. He's like, his last job I checked in with was he was the global marketing director for that do all the Purcell adverts, the Ford Fiesta adverts, all these things. He is loaded and shit like that. And he's a very intelligent man. And also he's a nerdy guy. So for me, I was like, dream package. My dad's cool. He likes art, he likes this, he likes fashion. List goes on. He's just a very cold person. Yeah. And his way of looking at it is his dad made him, you know...
He's not going to watch this, right?
Oh, fuck me.
Okay, good. I just want you to not say anything.
Every year on Father's Day, I send him a text saying, fuck you, and he's never replied. So
no way.
Yeah,
you actually...
I literally...
God damn.
I don't give
Choccy,
a fuck.
That's fucking mad.
I mean, put it this way. I'm more bothered that he doesn't put any effort in with Eliana. I can give a fuck he didn't see me.
That's a good point, man. Eliana, Choccy's daughter, by the way.
She's 6. But it's like one of those things like, send a card. I don't care if you don't reach out and say, "Hi, happy birthday, Eliana." Send a card. Just say, from you, my 2 sisters that I'm not allowed to see, and my stepmom. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, bro. You don't deserve that, and you're doing such a fucking great job. You and Hannah, and I'm sure Ellie's mum.
Yeah, Anna
is incredible.
I like my Annas and Hannahs.
You know, so at least your little daughter's having a good ride so far.
But like I said, the main thing is, it's so dumb that I love my daughter and I'd take fucking like any shit for her, like bullet, fucking, I put myself in debt for it, I'll do anything. And when I look at my dad, he didn't do any of that shit. And that really sets a standard.
That's got to be like part of the reason, part of where your mental health.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I'd say as a whole, that's one of the harder ones to talk about.
Yeah.
Because like for me, because I've got BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. It's
big
like
pussy disorder,
big papa disorder. Oh yeah. But it's one of those things where one second I can be on top of the world. I could fucking go down. I could run down there, steal an orange in London.
Eagle-eyed viewers
will know. And like, you know, spend fucking 200 quid. Don't care about it. Oh, I really haven't got the money. Whatever, do whatever. And then the opposite end of the spectrum is stood on a bridge, looking down, being like, "This is it."
Have you? Sorry to hit you with such a personal question. Have you ever been in that mindset, or have you ever been literally stood on a bridge?
Yeah, I've realistically, I'm trying to think now. It will be about 9 or 10 times I've attempted on my life. You
must be really shit at suicide, bro.
Yeah, no, a lot of it.
That's a joke. We're trying to lighten up the conversation. It's a serious conversation.
I'm not getting offended. He's not getting offended. You shouldn't get offended.
We're having fun.
If you can't laugh about
this is our way of opening up about it. All right, we've got to sprinkle a little bit of fucking.
If you can't laugh about this shit, man, I mean, what are you doing it for? So, a lot of it is like last minute pussying out, where there's always one little flicker that comes in. Like, put it this way, there's once don't fucking pitchfork and try and cancel me for this. There was once I was so fucking dumb.
People that have watched this and have listened this far.
There was once I was so fucking scared about failing uni and being a disappointment to my mum and a bit of my dad at the time, that I literally drank like 3 fucking bottles of Sailor Jerry straight, got in my car, drove all the way to Rother Valley. And in that mindset, I was like, you're going to crash and die. It was like 3.
I bet you didn't give a fuck.
Well, no, yeah, it was 3 in the morning. So like because like I said, in a normal mindset, I'd be like, I'd never do that because families and shit. And even at 3, someone could be coming back from the airport.
Yeah, man.
But when you are that low, you do not fucking care. And I can remember getting in the car, driving. I was fucking an alcoholic, like I said. And I get all the way to Rover Valley. And like I said, for the most part, I was fine in the car. I didn't try and swerve. I weren't like, I don't give a fuck. Mindset was getting to Rover Valley.
Yeah. And
I got all the way there, and there's a bridge that goes from like just out of Rover Valley to the main part. And it's got like a river that's not, it's very shallow. It's got like rocks and stuff. And I can remember getting there, and I like speaking to my mum and saying like, fuck this.
What, on the phone?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to be here. And she's like, where are you? And I said, like, I'm not telling you. And she's like crying and being like, please don't. You know, I've got all my friends that I've been speaking to early in that day going like, you're very quiet, Cam, what's going on? And I said, well, I'm going to end it. It's one of those things where also part of your brain goes, do it. You've told everyone you're doing it. The shame's there. The shame's there if you don't do it.
Yeah.
So
also, not only are you low and weak enough to do it, but you're also a pussy because you're not doing
and that's another negative thought, and it's like just more of a beating, and it's like you think I can remember standing there and being like, think about things you're gonna miss your daughter potentially graduating if she goes to uni,
that's got to be the biggest thing,
or like just growing up and stuff, or wedding if she wants to get married. You're gonna miss like your fucking life if it ever picks up. You're gonna miss some of your dreams. You're gonna miss your fucking mum's funeral because you'll already be dead. You know, things like that.
I mean, that's a good thing.
No, but what I'm saying is, like,
I feel you.
And nothing was going. It was just like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I said in that one moment when I'm dead, everything ceases to stop.
That tunnel vision.
I don't believe in like, sorry if you do. I'm not shitting on anyone who has any form of faith, because I have props to you because you believe in something that I can't, because so much shit has happened to me that I just think, well, game over. When this is done, I'm going to be an empty, cease to exist, no function. It's done. You can't even process that thought because you haven't gone through it. Unless you've been legally declared dead and you come back and you go, it was like, I was just asleep for.
It was all a dream.
And I can remember just being like, I don't care. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And I go on the bridge and I've got my hands on the rail like that. And I know if I just let go and let my body go forwards and not try and do anything, I'm just going to hit my head or bust my neck and fucking die. You know, and if I don't, I'll be laid there, bleed out, die, whatever. Literally, it must have been like 5 seconds before. It was just like, I can remember imagining my daughter crying at my funeral and someone having to explain that I killed myself, like later down the line to her.
Yeah.
And as I did think that, I had let go. And as I was going towards this little shallow fucking thing with all the little rocks sticking out.
What, so you jumped off?
Yeah. I didn't jump, I let go.
Yeah.
And as I did, I instantly went into like brace for impact, where you lay on your side, you get your knees together, you get your arm up, you get like that, you curl into a ball. And I can remember just hitting, and I can remember just grazing all the side of my leg, bruises everywhere, my arm and stuff like that.
Oh my God, Chuck, I didn't know this.
Yeah, I fucking felt like it was awful, and I had to climb to the side out of this little shitty pond fucking river thing. There's like an embankment of grass, and I had to like go in there, and I was soaking wet and shit.
Good God.
And after that, a lovely woman called Jackie, who I can't thank enough, who was a friend of my mum's that we met on holiday, who also has a son called Cameron as well, who's a year older than me. She took me in for a couple of months and was like a legal guardian. And she took my phone. She was like, don't want you to contact anyone back home. She was like, if you want to speak to your mum, it goes through me while I'm in the room. She was like, this is the safest we can be. And at first it was like one of those things like, thank you, but I was still messed up. And I had Big Cam, who fucking is like a brother to me. I actually have a real brother called Kai, but he was so young.
Don't you have a brother called Cam as well?
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. Big Cam
he's the brother.
Yeah, he's the brother.
Shit.
And he really like reached out, and he was so good with it because his brother died of an asthma attack. Jackie's other son called Jordan died of an asthma attack, and so her maternal like went straight on, and she knew my mum couldn't help me, because if I was around my mum, all I'd feel was complete like, I feel so bad that I put you through that. So like her son Jordan died of like an asthma attack, and her maternal thing went, you know, it went fully in. She fully was on the ball with it, and I lived with them for like fucking like 4 months. And those 4 months were just like...
When was this, Cam? It was obviously in the last 6 years because your daughter was born. When abouts? I didn't know you, did I?
No, I think she would have been about 2 or 3.
So maybe about a year before we met.
Yeah. And they just like... Put it this way, I was with Anna, who's my ex, and she just was like, yeah, that's cool, go. And we just... I feel like yeah, I would have been still with Anna. It wouldn't. I don't know if we might have been on a break or something at the time.
Yeah.
I might have been, but it was one of those times where after that, you know, life kind of went on for a while, and it was like uni and fucking work and everything was stressing me out. But if it weren't for that exact moment and time of them coming to me, I would have never bounced back from that. I would have been in constant state. And like I said, all the other attempts have been like, you know, you hang yourself, someone comes in the room, or you fucking like try and overdose and it doesn't do anything. I can remember like...
Turns out 4 ibuprofens.
Yeah, well, I found out, I was on this fucking thing, I've been on like a lot, like the top 2 I can remember is fluoxetine and sertraline. And we found out if you take either with like alcohol, if you take a couple of them with alcohol, you basically get the same effect of uppers and downer pills. So like 1 second you're like... woo, you feel invincible, you could stab yourself in the fucking arm and be like, woo, and the next second your body shuts down like you've literally got a fucking virus eating away at you, and you're shaking on the floor. And we found that out via me trying to overdose, and I was like, well, guys, I'm not going to lie, it obviously don't work, but what it did do was fuck me up in this way. And in no way am I condoning you try this, you fucking imbeciles, but what I'm saying is, because I found that out, we were doing that, and as I said, I got to a point where...
So you found that out from a suicide attempt and then you were using it as a high?
As a high, telling my friends. And, you know, fucking, if you know me, you know what type of friends I were hanging around with. So they were like, yeah, dude, let's fucking do it. Like, put it this way, I did Ket at 14.
That's like a more hardcore autoerotic asphyxiation kind of
And vibe. There was a guy called Josh who I don't talk to anymore. I haven't seen for fucking like... years and years, and I doubt he would ever listen to this. But if he does, hi Josh, you've never had a problem with telling me,
Josh.
With me telling you this, me telling this story. But we once did it at my mum's. She went on holiday. I had like 8 people over at my mum's. One of the reasons she used to fucking hate me living there, like well, my stepdad especially. And we all did it. And Josh takes a bit too many.
Yeah.
And he starts doing this where he's going. And I'm like...
Hearing that through the headphones is terrifying.
Yeah,
Can I get that again? Oh my God. It's like I'm playing The Last of Us.
This is ASMR with Choccy. But like... Good afternoon. This is Choccy. He's about to take a fat shit. All right, back to it. But... He took too many and got really fucked up. He stopped breathing. He like completely stopped breathing. And I go over and I'm fucked. We're all fucked. But I'm the only one who's less fucked enough to realise something's going on.
Yeah.
And he's doing this way. He's like grabbing onto the pillars and grabbing onto my arm, like really digging in there. And going, and I'm like banging on his chest. And I'm trying to remember the advert where it's like, staying alive, that's how you're supposed to do it.
BGs.
Yeah. So
thanks for the copy strike there, mate. Appreciate that. We've literally just monetized the channel.
Well, we can bleep it out and just put our own little...
I ain't editing this shit, homie.
So like doing that, and he's like just moving his arm around, and I just got my full fucking hand, and on my mum's like little sofa thing, like little poof thing, was like a...
Choccy, it's 2020, mate. You can't say...
I said poof.
Oh,
poof.
Okay, cool. Yeah, puffy.
Yeah, a poof, where you put your feet on.
I mean, again,
Footstool,
you can't do that.
Shut up. There was a bowl with like some like metallic pebbles in that she had as like furniture display shit.
Sounds tacky as fuck, bro.
And I literally... Deb's cancel him.
I love you.
Cancel him. And I got this bowl. Sorry, Mum. I don't know if I ever told you this. I got this bowl and I shoved my fucking fingers down his throat and I waited until I felt liquid come up, and I did that, and he just all up in this bowl. and he's doing that, and I'm like sweating and everything, but everyone else is just like, yo, what's going on? And I was like, he was fucking dying. He was dying.
Just too fucking docile to realize.
Yeah, and I was like, it was at that moment I said, no, enough of this shit. I said, I get it. I get why I did it, but I said, enough of this shit. I said, if we're gonna just get fucking high, let's just buy legal highs, and that's what we went on to. We started doing legal
highs.
No, we were already doing legal highs,
yeah.
which is just like the equivalent of what spice is today, but
which is probably one of the most damaging drugs that you can get.
Yeah,
including
but
illegal highs.
Like put it this way, a legal high you could buy
in the fucking
from
a newsagent, right?
Well, no, I never got them from newsagent. There's a place called Golden Harvest, and you could just walk in, and we were all underage, and they don't give a fuck. But there was that, obviously. We can't really arrest you because it's not being given a classification yet, so
yeah.
It's legal, and we just used to get on that. So we just went back to that, and over the years.
Do you think your drug use as a young kid
fucked my mindset up?
Yeah. I mean that's a loaded question. Yeah. I know the answer. Would you undo that if you could, or do you value the experiences? You have?
I think I value it. Like
for me, something that I'm not a big drug user. I'm not a drug user. Full stop. Right? I'd be lying if I said. I'd be lying if I said I've never done drugs.
Scarface with a Coke.
I certainly don't frequent them. I'm not built for that shit. I'm too much of a pussy. I overthink things. I'm a hypochondriac. But I look back on some of our earlier videos where we're like, yeah, get your Mawams in. And like, I shouldn't be someone that 16-year-olds message saying, how can I get drugs into festival? Yeah. I never respond to those messages deliberately, but I'm embarrassed that people think I'm that person, and we've created that image ourselves.
Yeah,
and we've done a very good job at not creating that image for the last 3 years.
But it's the emulate rock star. Every influencer is trying to be the definition of a rock star, where it's like, I can do this, I can do that, I can party.
She's a silver lining, Lone Ranger riding.
But it's like, put Ozzy Osbourne for example. Yeah.
Me and Ozzy are one and the same.
Good old Oz. Oz has smashed so many fucking drugs. But he's smashed so many drugs. I mean, like Mike Tyson, Steve, all those types of people do it, and none of them like regret. I would say they talk about it and they say they were an idiot, but that experience has helped sculpt them into who they are now, where they can look at that in a certain way. So, like for me, I always lived by the motto my granddad used to say, which is like, do everything once. Like, I don't want to skydive.
That's a good motto.
I don't want to skydive, but because of that motto, I know one day I'm going to fucking do it.
And one day I will as well.
Or what is it called? Caving, where people like go...
I've already done that. That's fucking horrible.
Yeah. Terrifying for me. I'm not claustrophobic, but I would hate to die in that scenario.
One of the earliest memories I can remember of crying was when I was in a cave. Yeah. Because I thought I was going to die.
Well, no, I've been in cave, but it's like that whole where someone gets a map and then it's like, if we go through this tunnel and stuff, and it's like, oh.
It's a one-way ticket to getting cemented into a cave for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
127 hours style.
Essentially. But I know, like, maybe one day someone will say it and I'll have to go, remember the motto, and I'll just go, right. If it's like one that's mapped out with CCTV cameras and you've already took my weight in and the cave gap's like this big and, shit like that, and then I'll be like, yeah.
We're going to put you in our larger gentleman's cave, sponsored by Giacomo.
We're going to put you in the kids' cave. It's all just memory foam, so if you get stuck, you can just, like, bust your way through it.
It's actually made of candy floss and you can just eat your way out.
It's actually not a cave, it's Lego. Come on, kids.
We're so fucking sidetracked.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I want to reroute the conversation
to drugs,
because not to drugs, because we're coming up to the hour and there's still a few bits I want us to talk about.
There's quite a few, realistically.
I guess the point of this conversation was for us to talk about mental health. I had what I would consider a mental breakdown this year. Which makes me embarrassed to say, but
don't be embarrassed. This is the part of the problem.
That's why I'm saying
the
it,
shame.
Because this is part of the problem.
It's like the stigma.
Because whatever. But yeah, I did, and it was on the night before my birthday. Because I was anxious as fuck about so many things.
Yep.
And I was super unmotivated. I felt like shit. I was drinking all the time, which I still am, but I was very heavily drinking. And I was just really anxious about everything. I was anxious about cancel culture because, God forbid, we make some jokes that are actually fucking funny, which we do. And I'm over that now. And I couldn't give two fucks what anyone who isn't on our level thinks. We got called out for making a fucking bulimia joke.
Yeah.
Guess what? Who gives a fuck?
It's
man?
a joke. It's either all okay. It's either all okay or none of it's okay.
So I'm over that. But I was super fucking on edge and I was super anxious. And everyone knew that I was in this low spot. And then someone decided to make a fucking Facebook page for my birthday where everyone was going to like wish me happy birthday.
I remember
they called it something like
cancelling Rob
Kellis is over. And I could have died.
Yeah.
And I literally had a fucking breakdown, mate.
Yeah.
I had a breakdown because I was like, what is this? Why are people doing this to me? And I went and sat on the fucking canal in Leeds because we lived near the canal at that point. That was when we were at East Point. Great flat.
Lovely.
And I went and sat on the canal and I don't know if I had any intentions or any kind of buried intentions or subliminal intentions. I don't know what took me to the water. But I went straight there and I just sat on the edge of the canal for like an hour and a half just staring into the water.
Was it one of those points where did you think this is like a subliminal thing? Is it more like when you looked at that water, was it more that it calmed you? Or was it more that you just realised everything going tits up and how you felt?
Well, I don't know. I don't know why I went there. I guess it's probably because it's a nice area.
But
I was on autopilot. This is the worrying thing. Because I obviously... if I'd have jumped into the water, I'd just be in the canal, which is probably about 4 foot deep at the point I was sat. I wasn't exactly like going out there to do anything stupid, but I just autopilot and I kind of like just blanked out in my mind.
That's like why I
just blanked out.
Go to Robber Valley, because that autopilot for me that's where, you know what I mean? And I don't even think about it, but like if I tried it again, that's where. So for you, maybe that holds such a nice memory, or you know where you're going and you just think that's it, that you don't think of it, your body just takes you. It was like I woke up like 90 minutes later just at the side of the canal, and then I went and got a bath and I was super upset, and we had a call,
spoke to you, and that's when we had our first proper conversation about mental health. And to be honest, it wasn't much of a conversation, it was more an hour of you just fucking essentially making me feel so much better. Well, and I value that so much.
Everyone should do.
And then the next day, like, because Chris and Mary knew that I was like in a shit place. Everyone knew I was in a shit place. But Chris and Mary like sorted me out like a care package, and Mary came and brought it, and it had like Hot Wheels in it and Sam Pelli's and
frozen pizza.
Frozen pizza.
Fuck me, that frozen pizza,
which is still in my fridge in my freezer right now. But you know, and I'm so thankful to have those people. And people out there are not as fortunate as me.
No. And that is something that we all, whether you know it or not, whether we all can feel at that same exact point. Like what you felt is what I can feel, and vice versa. The difference is what you've got around you. And if you are genuinely someone who doesn't have family, friends, a healthy relationship with someone that you can talk to, support, then it can weigh up. And it's one of those things that I always like to think of. If you think you are, and this is what I want everyone to keep in mind, that if you really want to know if you are going through something and it's not just a phase, because a lot of people will, as you did originally, thought, I'm just having a shit time. You didn't realise that you were genuinely depressed. It was one of those things where you just thought, I'm just...
Yeah, something to mention as well is, and very few people know this, I was diagnosed with depression. I went to the doctors in like 2017 and got diagnosed with depression. I've never had one of the antidepressants. I only got one batch of them. And
I got some in my bag.
I never took them, and I probably never will, which you shouldn't follow my advice at all, but that's just how my head works. Or at least I was back then, certified on paper as clinically depressed. And the only people that know that are, maybe you knew it already.
Yeah, I think
Bryody knew it because I told him in the car once when he told me to cheer up.
Yeah, the classic cheer up or man up. Or it's like, come on, you've got us around you.
Shout out to Bryody. Brydy's been brilliant. Brydy's someone I can just text and say like, let's go on a drive, and we'll just fucking go on a drive. And Bryody has his own struggles as well. And this year's the first year I've really heard him open up. Me and him will just riff in the car, and so that's, you know, big love
nice
to Bryody.
Time, isn't it? Just that classic, those moments with someone where you can genuinely feel like this is I'm content and this is making me feel better. And it can be something as simple as just going for a drive with your mate, or you're one of your best mates in the world.
Me and Bryody in a car, mate, we could go anywhere in the world not anywhere in the world, but like
Singapore.
We have some of my fondest memories of me and Bridie in the car.
Yeah.
What a great time.
I mean, that's mine and Bridie's first interaction was about, well, I mean, at East Point, our first proper interaction as mates was about you boys back in the day in the car and stuff like that.
We've got some, that would be a great podcast. The early chills when we had the car.
Chills for you boys
the Ford
to talk
Focus.
about. But what I'm trying to say is, like, if a way I gauged when I was younger, and this is a good way for a lot of people to gauge, and this is like not scientifically proven. Don't fucking,
9 out of 10 dentists
don't well, put it this way, don't self-diagnose. The first thing you should always do is, if you feel like it, talk to someone, listen to them, and then if you still feel like it, go to a doctor. All right, there's no shame, there's no like the stigma for going to get help. It's not there. The stigma is more of like you're personally worried about, oh, I don't want people to know I'm depressed or I have a mental illness. The difference is going to get help has never been so easier, because you can just fucking, like, there's apps you can just book in online.
Yeah,
you can speak to someone over the phone. There's always like Good Samaritans and stuff. But one of the things I realised, and it's what I had a private therapist that I paid £200 a month to see, and shout out to Michael.
Flex alert.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was mainly like sometimes my mum paid as a nice bonus, but she found me this guy called Michael, who, hi Hannah, but she found me this guy called Michael, and he was amazing. And the only reason I stopped seeing him is because, we ain't all made of money. We all aren't Rob Kellis penthouse suite with Danny White, Playboy Danny White over there living the dream.
Danny White, maybe, not me.
But
I spent all my money on this Travis Scott t-shirt, didn't I?
Copyright. But he told me something that has resonated, and if I could tell my young self anything to see the signs, it would be this. Imagine you've just woke up. You're at, like, on a scale, you're in the middle. You don't know what's going on. You don't know how your day's been. And then there's factors that add into it. Maybe if you didn't get any sleep the night before, maybe you're just a bit below it. Maybe if you had a great amount of sleep, maybe you're just a bit above it. But you're normally in the middle. Yeah.
Yep.
You're normally in the middle. Yeah. You're normally in the middle, and then your day goes on. So, like, you go do your teeth, you drop your toothbrush on the floor, and it
covered in piss.
Covered in piss. You drop in the bog.
That's what that is what I do not like.
You go down a little bit. Yeah. Or you brush your teeth. You go downstairs. You have something to eat, and you've got like 20 minutes spare, so you're like, well, you know what, I might check out that new podcast. That's quite high on the iTunes music chart.
Very high on the iTunes music chart.
But so maybe you go up, and that's how it is. So, like, you put it this way, your kid's born, you're up there, aren't you? It's top of the world. Your kid's just been fucking born. Whoa.
I imagine.
Sorry to use this example. Your dad dies, you go straight down. Yeah,
I don't have to imagine that one.
All right, show off. It's a joke. It's a joke. We both don't have dads. Just one of them.
Yeah, at least my dad loved me when he was alive.
Well, put it this way: you got the love, and he died of cancer. I didn't get the love, but he survived cancer. So
there we go, man, and we're still homies,
the yin yang,
the yin and the yang.
But it's
which is funny because one dad's white, one dad's black.
There we go.
It's like yin and yang.
Yin and yang. It's like Lenny and Carl.
Daniel Plant.
But here's what he said to me. So, you're going through your day, and then certain events happen. Christmas, you get that new console, you get the PlayStation 5. Woo-wee! Christmas, you're an orphan. You've got nothing except the knowledge that you've at least got a bed, still fucking down there. Yeah. When you have some form of mental illness, especially like anything to do with a depressive mental illness, you've got bipolar, the list goes on, but anything like that, your day starts down here, ground zero. So you wake up at ground zero.
I've been to ground zero. So, it's not a bad place.
Shut up, so have I. But what I'm saying is, you're at what I like to call, in my experience, the void. Everything there. You wake up and instantly it's like, I don't want to be here today. I can't even get out of bed. I hate my life. I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm miserable. I'm a failure. I'm ugly, I'm disgusting. Yeah, you start there. So then imagine you try and get on with your normal, and think about a normal day to day for most people. You know, like I said, you get up, you might shower, you might not. You might have plans to go on holiday. You might be like, I'm literally going to see no one for like 2 weeks. Things like that. And that dictates your thing. So if you already start all the way at the fucking bottom, think about how hard it is to crawl out just to get... So for me, I always start at the bottom. That's not a joke to anyone who thinks I'm just being like, it's a funny meme. For me, with my BPD, I start at fucking the void every fucking morning. It doesn't matter if I've got my daughter there. It doesn't matter if I've got plans to go on holiday to a festival. It doesn't matter if I'm doing fuck all. It doesn't matter if I just fucking won 2 fucking grand on like a bet. I'm starting at the bottom. Now imagine my best day.
Now what happens if you drop your toothbrush?
You're still at the bottom, aren't you? Well,
so you can't get lower.
Well, no, this is what I'm going to get to. So anything that adds on to that negativity, it's just further fueling you to just go and fucking end your life or just stop this. So like if I turn around and go, I wake up, I feel shit, and then I get a message from my mum saying, I have cancer, then I literally feel like I don't want to fucking be here anymore times 10. So I'm just going to go do it and I'm not going to tell anyone. Then think about my daughter's born. I go to the middle part.
Yeah.
So my
like
so what I would consider one of my best days of my life, yeah, my daughter's birth would put me to what most people would call their wake up area, where they wake up and they feel like I'm not having an awful day, I'm not having an amazing day, because it's just in the middle. Because as much as I'm celebrating the birth of my daughter and how much I love her, I'm still then instantly struggling about, I don't know if I can do this. I already feel shit. I'm not ready to be a father. I'm a shit father. I ain't got the money to support the blah, blah. The list goes on. So I get only to the middle part, and that's something you have to realize. If you're waking up day to day and you only get to the middle part throughout your day, you don't wake up there, you should definitely 100% go and talk to a doctor. This isn't like one of those things where I'm like, it's 100% guaranteed, because everyone can have a bad day. Yeah. But if you're having a continuous bad day over and over, if you're getting to the mirror and looking yourself in the mirror and you hear the voice inside your head, it can be, if you, like I said, it could be not your voice, and you should definitely go see a doctor, but it could just be your own voice, or it can just be...
if it's someone else's voice, then...
No, but it's like, I knew a guy who...
I know.
Who had this conversation with me once, and he was like, well, it's not my voice, and I was like, you should really tell your doctor that, and he did, and then he got diagnosed as schizophrenic, so swings and roundabouts, but...
Is that the right use of the phrase swings and roundabouts?
Yeah, like if he didn't tell me that in such a casual way,
then he might
he might have never gone to the doctors and then got diagnosed.
Okay, good point.
But like, I have it where I know it's me, but I know it's that part of me that is like, you are an absolute failure. Think about everything you've done for your mum. Fuck all. She would be so happy without you. You don't deserve your like gorgeous fucking girlfriend who does everything for you as well. Your daughter would be so much better without you. You're a shit dad. Your dad is still 1,000 times better than you are to your daughter. Things like that.
Yeah.
So you need if things like that are happening, go get help. And if they're not, and you still feel fucking depressed or at such a low point, especially more than normal, or maybe you felt like this all along and you've just switched on and realised, just go and talk, because there's different outlooks to do. You can go to therapy, you can go to a counsellor, you can go on medication, you can just talk. There's Good Samaritans. You can just go and talk to your friends and family, and they can help you decide maybe what's a plan of action, not what's best for you, what's a plan of action. And like I said, Rob's been talking about that he drinks every day. Like I said, I went through like a year and a half of just non-stop drinking out every night. I probably
drink a bit more than you.
Pussy, come on, we know who's the lightweight. I got myself in like a grand debt for a consistent 2 years because of just spending that money on drinks. And I took out $2,000 overdraft and I went over it.
Wow.
And it was one of those things where, like I said,
quite a small drink.
But it's one of those things where you don't care. When you're drinking, it's one of those things that are going to keep you going.
It just sorts it out, man. Yeah. Do you know what? We were in fucking Sheffield last weekend, and when you went to that Wetherspoons, and you could tell I was feeling shit that morning.
Yeah.
I was feeling wank, and I ordered a pint, and as soon as it touched my lips, you could literally see me just loosen up and immediately start just vibing.
But that's a bad thing, though.
It is a bad thing.
We rely on alcohol, and like I said,
what we're doing is we're talking about it.
We're talking about it, and that's the main thing. Is put it this way, I still go back into my old habits. You know that, and that I sometimes go back in my old habits where for like 2 weeks on end, drink every day. It doesn't matter what I've got planned. Doesn't matter what time. It can be 6 in the morning and I'm sat there with a fucking bottle next to my bed and I'm just sipping it. The main thing is we're talking about it, and he has help via friends, family, everyone around him who will happily talk to him and happily help him in the same way I have the exact same. So when I start drinking again, if he or Hannah, who's my girlfriend, or Dan said, hey, instead of just going to the pub or something, let's go for a walk. You wanna do something? I will do anything to distract myself instead of drinking. But when you don't have that luxury, you need to take the edge. And like I said, if it gets to the point it's got for us, maybe go to a doctor. If you're not comfortable with that, it's fine. Don't fucking feel shame over it. Just know that we get it. We get it. We're talking about it now.
People get it. People get it. And that's the point of this podcast, because we've seen all these posts in the group of everyone feeling low, and that's fine.
It is completely fine.
And this is our way of just kind of aligning with you in a way.
I think it'd be unfine if you saw everyone was fucking happy as day normal.
Yeah, of course. And that's what social media typically is, right? My fucking Instagram. If you look at my Instagram, right, and at most people's Instagram.
Just don't look at the one that bombed.
Absolute best fucking life. I'm in LA. I'm in fucking doing this, doing that. I'm fucking, And social media is very much a place where that's painted. And Dan's come off social media.
Yeah.
And he feels 10 times better for it.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, I'm not going to do that. I rely on social media way too much, and it's my biggest distraction. And I don't think it has much of a negative perception.
But as we said,
aside from Twitter,
it's like I said, things we enjoy about that can be like, as we've said, Dan, he doesn't enjoy that.
Yeah, and
that's completely fine. Everyone's got different ways of dealing with different things.
But big up everyone that is reaching out in the Sam Pelly squad. I don't know if this has even been useful or interesting, but it's nice to. I really appreciate you opening up so much.
Of course,
because
I'm always.
I'd hate for you to think that you're just like on the spot, like bang, just fucking revealing some personal details. I really do appreciate that you felt comfortable enough to do that.
I've had years to do this shit, man. But
I didn't know that shit about you, and so I hope that I really appreciate you bringing that to the table, because people out there will need to hear that shit. We've had people in the group this week that have felt very low, and it's easy enough for us to just comment and be like,
hope you're all right.
Yeah, and
speak in the DM.
And everyone that does comment that, that's lovely to see. But
it's nice
if we've got a bit of a platform.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to talk about, so you can go, wow.
Oh, it's fucking stopped again. Woo! Let's talk about that last night out.
Yeah, let's talk about that last night out, because we got the magical experience to celebrate that together.
We did indeed.
And the best thing I could describe about that is how that still felt more normal than it is now.
Completely, man. We were in a fucking nightclub.
Yeah, I mean, we were in a nightclub, but think about the amount of people in that nightclub that night.
Yeah, there was us and about 4 other people.
Yeah, and then think about, we've been out for drinks. I mean, when we were in Chef and we went to Corp and shit, and that's filled with loads more people. That still feels so much more alien than
the empty nightclub.
The empty nightclub.
Yeah, but the empty nightclub felt.
I can't even remember. Right, so that night, I can't even remember what happened. I remember getting a message from you.
I think we'd done. Yeah, you came down and we went to Key Club.
Yeah,
because I fucking probably needed an escape. Jackie P was on, so we knew it was going to be a good night.
Yeah, it always is.
And we just got fucked up. We drank a lot at the flat. You dropped that beer and it went on the roof.
Listen. I don't know how much people know about this, but so some people know about Razzie dropping the wine in the flat. But that was obviously after this night. There was this night, Rob's obviously got me to come down for a fun, funky night. And I'm like, yo, I love fun, funky nights with my homie. So I can't remember, something had happened and we were mid-argument about one of Snoop's best songs, which is, I'm trying to think which song. You're heard. Can I get mad? You know what I mean?
You know you wanted more, girl, so come on, let's get blown.
Yeah, let's get blown. And Rob was like, no, I don't really rate it. And I was like, you're missing the anthem. I was like, everyone rates the next episode, Gin and Juice. You know, but I was like, let's get blown, certified fucking bop. And mid this conversation, I can remember getting a beer and one of them falling in Rob's fridge. And I just heard it and I was like, oh, I'll be fine. And then I finished my beer and went back for another one. Classic me, finishing 2 beers before Rob finishes his first.
Full of shit, this guy.
And I opened the thing.
Full of shit.
I opened the thing and it hits the floor and it just goes like proper like, welcome to the cum zone. Like proper all over his wall, his room. And Rob's just like, I fucking can't believe you've done that. And I said, what have I done?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck, I can't believe you've done this. And it just went everywhere. And he was like, what the fuck are you playing at, Chuck? And I was like, I'm fucked and I'm buzzing. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, you've just fucking cummed beer everywhere.
When I'm about to move out.
Yeah, and we were...
I just painted the fucking walls.
And we were getting a Uber in like 15 minutes or some shit. And you were like, I ain't got time for this. So you just left it.
Yeah, who cares, man?
I remember we then put like JT on, some Justin, to like go out. And then that night when we got back, you did a rendition on the guitar. We watched the Russian explorer guy.
Oh, that's horrible. That guy who goes and jumps in the fucking Chernobyl ponds. I hated watching that, Chuck.
Oh, I can't remember what he's called.
Good. Let's forget about him.
No, let's quickly touch on
that. Let's not. We're running out of time here.
Yeah, but it was funny because I showed you that and you were fucked eating... Was it
Shawarma King? Because you were fucking gagging for that shitty Shawarma King.
But we were watching this, and Rob just like finishes watching a thing, and it's a guy swimming in like the lakes of Chernobyl, exploring it. He's fucked, and Rob's just like, "How is this human being alive?" And I turned around and said, "Oh, we should do something like that." And he just looked at me and said, "I'm going to bed. I can't believe you just shown me this. This is one of the worst things you've shown me." And I were buzzing, and because I'd been watching this.
Here's a story about Choc. The first time I ever went to his flat, he was kind enough and gracious enough to have us over for Tramlines 2017,
I think.
And he straight away put a video on his telly of a man getting shot in the head. And I've never trusted him since.
Listen, I can explain.
I don't want you to explain.
No, I can briefly explain.
Very brief.
Original video showed you the chicken getting shot to the Bruno Mars.
The chicken getting shot is fine. I don't care.
You laugh. So I thought, oh, he's got dark humour. Him and Dan are laughing. So I thought, these boys aren't
pussies. There's dark humour, and then there's watching a man lose his life.
Yeah, all right. So a woman's in a car. She's fucking around with this guy's gun, and she just shoots him through the cheek, and he dies. And I've seen enough of that shit where I'm like, damn, that's fucked. But I'm not gonna go squeamish about it while Rob's over here going like, I can't believe, but that's the first time I've seen a life taken.
I used to be better at that, right? I used to spend all my fucking younger years on 4chan watching looking at like wrecked threads.
But you've
watching
never watched Pain Olympics.
You know that guy who, Pain Olympics was like fucking entry level shit. I remember watching that guy shoot himself in the head, the Bjork stalker, whatever he's called. I was there, man. I was part of that scene.
Rob was the original source for those videos.
I was there, mate, on the very early days when 4chan was only a few years old. But since then, I've become an adult and I've realised that that's actually fucking horrible.
Yeah, but this was what, 4? No, it weren't 3. It was 3 years ago.
Yeah, which is recent enough.
Yeah, but then the thing is, you've never dropped it. So if I send Rob a DM on
I'm
Messenger
not reading it,
or
bro.
Insta, and it's a picture or a video, he refuses to fucking open it because he thinks I'm just going to send him. And I'm like, listen, man, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to put it in the boys' chat. So in our squad chat, we have sometimes I'll find someone that's really fucked up. Can be some like Pain Olympics shit type of stuff. And I will put it in that chat. And Rob will literally, it'll say that he's seen it. And then he won't reply to any messages for a bit. And then he'll act like he didn't see it and continue with like the conversation. And I'll then message him being like, bro, do you not see that? He says, I fucking refuse. He says, I see the play thing over the video and I don't click it, Cam, because I bet it's something.
I don't want my day ruining by you, mate.
You know what? Shout out to Varley, because Varley's the only one who checks.
Yeah, goes, because he's younger than us. All right? He's going to end up as fucked up as you and I in the head.
Nah.
So anyway, it's been a bit of a disorganized conversation because this conversation has been a bit of an awkward one, and it's not felt awkward for me, but it's an awkward one to agenda.
Yeah, it's
like, now we're going to talk about suicide. Now we're going to talk about depression.
It's really hard to fucking just go from bullet point to bullet point to bullet point, because when it's with one of your fucking best mates, it's like distractions happen, obviously, like you would, and also you don't want to constantly talk about that. You want to end on some light stuff. We want to be ourselves while also talking about this stuff. So maybe this will land well. Hopefully it does, and hopefully you realise that reaching out and speaking about it is the right thing to do. Yeah. Because it upsets me to see how many people are struggling at the minute, and I'm sure it upsets you as well. I hate the fact that somewhere out there, it doesn't matter if it could be your neighbour, it could be your friend, family, stranger, someone on the other side of the fucking world, someone's going through something that they really need help with, and they might not be in the right mindset to reach out. So the least you could do, if you don't feel like anything is wrong in your life, you feel like everything's peachy or you're just getting on with it, just check in with someone, you know?
Yeah, man.
It's not hard. Just check in with, as we said, neighbour, friend, family, work colleague, and anyone, stranger, you know. Just reach out and say, hey, you know, you're all right, just to let you know, I'm here for you. Because you'd be surprised how much that does for someone.
So,
fuck me.
Well, thanks for watching and listening to this episode of The View from the Afternoon, the official podcast of TPD TV. The top links in the description are all going to be mental health resources. So scope them out if you need them. Yes, I know that sounds a bit preachy and a bit like fucking plastic, fucking performative shit. But guess what? Mary sent me some of them. They really fucking helped me out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bang some in the description.
Good.
Choc, let's do this again soon on a lighter topic. Yeah, we have got so much shit to talk about. You and me, and specifically you. You're a fucking animal of a man. And I can't wait for these listeners and viewers to find out more about you. You are my most interesting friend by a million miles.
Thank you very much.
And I'm looking forward to us revealing not all, but some of your juicy background.
Let's get some of the other. We'll get some of the other boys if we can, but if not,
we're gonna get 4 new cameras. We've got 2 cameras at the minute. We're gonna get 4 new ones so we can get everyone on. It's not just gonna be a one-on-one forever, but I know it's been a bit of a heavy one, but sometimes it needs to be. Thanks so much for listening, Choc. I thank you sincerely for opening up, man.
For having me fucking today.
Shall we get some drinks?
Let's get fucked up.
All right, boy. Lots of love. We're available on all major platforms. We'll love you and leave you. See you soon.
Peace.